ready with me. I'm not going anywhere special, I'm just getting ready for work, but I thought I would share with you what I do, how I do it, and the products that help me turn this into this. This is one of my all-time favorite cleansers because it's a cleanser, moisturizer. I really love this and I really can't recommend this enough. A really lovely thing you can do in the mornings when you apply a cleanser such as this, because it has a really beautiful amount of slippage on it. It makes it perfect for giving yourself a little facial massage, which really can wake up your face, help depuff, and just get the circulation moving. So what I do for that is I will take these knuckles here and I will just scoop along kind of the contours of my face, under my cheekbones, and then across my jawline, around my eyes, forehead, and then I will sweep up, kind of using the tips of my fingers and the base of my wrists. On your neck too. What you're going to do is you're going to take these two fingers and you're going to go sweep underneath, and then you're going to do like little scissors between the earlobes, move across under the eye and over the eye, and then scissor your earlobes, and then pull all that down to your shoulders. And this really helps just clear that congestion from the night. And you can, it sounds gross, but you can actually feel it go down your throat and go. And that really does help depuff your eyes, depuff your face. And obviously you're not going to see a completely depuff straight away because that has to get to work. So leave that for a little bit. And then time you've had your shower, your face will just look a little bit more sculpted. So once I've done that with the cleanser, I then take the cloth that comes with it, which has like a rough muslin side on this side, and it has a soft microfiber on this side. So I will damp this with warm water, squeeze it so it's damp, and then with the muslin side, I will do little circular motions, and this will give me a really nice exfoliation. Can you see my face already looks a bit more glowy? Then I'm gonna rinse and repeat. This cloth comes with this cleanser, which is just brilliant. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is brush my hair, because I wear it up in the night, and then I give my hair a good hairbrush before I step in the shower. When you brush your hair before you wash it, it means when you then go and brush your hair after you've shampooed and conditioned your hair, that's not so knotty. Because if you think about it, when your hair is wet, it's most fragile, so you really want to get the knots out before you wash it. After you've washed and conditioned your hair, if you put a really cold rinse on your hair, if you can face it, and you'll get the most amazing shiny hair. Another great hair tip is to leave your hair in a hair towel for as long as possible. This is a microfiber hair towel. I leave this on for as long as possible. So when I feel like it's quite damp, I will then take this off, turn it round to the dry side, and I will reapply it, because you want your hair to be as dry as possible before you hair dry it, because the less heat we can use on our hair, the better. One of my all-time things to use after a shower, when my skin is still a little bit damp, is I love to put on this Leha tuberose oil. It is by far one of my favourite things that I use after a shower. It makes my skin feel amazing because it's got organic, natural coconut oil in it, and it's scented with a tuberose flower. This smells like summer. Uplifting, just beautiful, happy smell. Before I put any other skincare on, I put this Copper Neod Isolate Serum on. It's blue, but it's pretty cool because the blue is the copper, and I just press it onto my skin. And what this does, it just helps even my skin texture. It takes down the look of pores, it helps my skin build more collagen and elastin, and it just makes my skin, I think, look a bit more youthful. As I'm now in my late 40s, I kind of think anything like this helps. And I will press that in, and then I will go over the top with my regular skincare. So that always involves an eye cream. So at the moment I'm using this Ageless Decrease, and I like this because it helps minimize the look of fine lines. It just gives me a really nice smooth base to my under eye, so it's really moisturizing, hydrating, but it also gets to work at targeting fine lines around the eye. Sometimes around our eyes, if we're dehydrated, any fine lines can actually look worse. I think it just makes the eye look more youthful. Once I've applied my NIOD serum, my eye cream, I would just go straight over the top with an all-in-one moisturizer and SPF in one. Plus this teams up as a makeup primer too. It's full of antioxidants which also help fight aging. It's full of great SPF, and it also is full of really lovely vitamins that I think just help treat the skin as you wear it. Now, my top tip for applying sunscreen is to put a little bit in the middle of your hand, and then you want to do about a fingerful like this for the face, and then you want to do a fingerful like that for the neck, and then you want to do, if you're wearing a low cut top, a fingerful like that for the chest. And that's just a good guide to make sure you're wearing enough SPF. Don't forget to put leftovers on your lips, on your ears, and also backs of hands too. So I think this gives a really nice finish to the skin, especially on a makeup free day. It doesn't have any colour on it, but I do think it adds a nice glow to the skin. But also, if you want to wear makeup on top, this acts as a makeup primer too. So it just helps your makeup go on a little bit smoother and look a little bit more professionally applied for those mornings when you don't have a lot of time. Oh, it's hot here. So now I'm gonna style my hair. But I want to share with you something funny. I love this brush. I actually bought a second one because my cat Milton really loves it too, and whenever I go and blow dry my hair, he goes into this position on this little box, and it's kind of like, yeah mum, do my hair too. So whenever I do my hair, Milton is ready for his hair too. He absolutely loves it. Usually have this little guy here and this little guy here watching me as I blow dry my hair too. It's a little get ready party. Now, top tip for brushing your hair when it's wet, you want to start off by always brushing the ends and then moving up to the mid-lengths. You'll notice that I hold it while I brush it because I don't want to be pulling and tugging right from the root, because this is going to weaken the hair and more hair is going to come out. And then I go from the root down to the mid-lengths. If your hair is knotty, you don't want to be dragging the brush right the way down the knots, because that's really going to rip the hair. That's just a good tip to keep your hair in best shape. So you can see where I've had my hair in the towel, it's actually started to dry already. I want to give my hair a really smooth effect before I put in my wave. It just looks more silky. Wouldn't necessarily say do this every day by any means, but I want to show you what I do to get a good wave at my hair. So I, again, not affiliated, not sponsored, I have invested in, let me get it to show you, in one of these dry bar. It's like a hairdryer but with a brush built into it. I think there's lots of different types available at different price points. I like the shape of the barrel because it's not totally round, it's almost oval. This one gives me the look of a salon blow dry, and it's the easiest and quickest to use. I simply section my hair, I turn it on, I try not to use the hottest setting, and then I simply run it along my hair. When it gets to the ends, I just give it a little bit of shaping, and this really does give the look of a salon blow dry. Wait until you see when it's finished. I go on the top like that, and then I go underneath, and I work my way along the length of my hair and do the next section. And what I love about this, you don't need any fancy hairdressing skills to get a really beautiful blow dried effect. And then to finish off, depending on if you want your hair to curve under or curve out, I then focus right on the end. So I'm going to do curve under here, like so. I'm going to do this section now, a curve out. Can you see? This is the side I've just worked on. This is the side that is kind of air drying. So it really does smooth the hair. This is the finished look, but I'm now going to add in some waves. I've got a couple of tips for when you're waving your hair. Now the first is, waves are only going to stay in your hair if your hair is completely dry. If it's still just a touch damp, those waves are going to drop out. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to spray on more heat protector. Now this one is to use before ironing because curling irons are in intense heat. So I do recommend you using a spray on heat protector. And what I love about this one is that you spray it on and it acts as a very slight hairspray. Whether you use a heat protector or not, when you put a hairspray on before curling your hair, those waves will stay in for longer. Comb through. I'm going to section my hair. So we're going to do the bottom section first of all. Twist up. Now once again, you want to find a heat setting on your wand that works at the lowest heat but gives you the effect. Take sections of hair that's no wider than an inch. And if your hair is shorter, you might even want to take even less, like that. Take the wand and point it downwards. And I wrap around the hair away from the face. And I leave the ends without a wave. Hold for 10 seconds and then I let that drop into my hand and cool down. And by just doing this little step, by allowing the wave to cool down in your hand, the wave will last a lot longer. So I'm going to let that fall. Now that looks a bit too curly, but by the time I've done the rest of my hair, that will have fallen just enough to give it the right amount of wave. I'm going to work my way round and then stay tuned for when I do the top section. Now we're going to do the top section. We're going to take this top section and we're going to split it in half like that. I'm going to put this half in a clip. We're going to take this half here and we're going to start by creating a nice wave that frames the face. The best way to frame your face is to see where your cheekbone is. If you're thinking, right, well I want that wave to really hit that cheekbone, you're going to have your finger where your cheekbone is, going to take your wand and you're going to start the wrap on where you made your little marker. Hold. And again, I did the curl away from my face. Let it drop into your hand, let it cool down, and then you'll be able to see that hits just on the cheekbone there. If you want more of a relaxed beachy vibe, start your curls lower. And if you want a more curly look, then this end here that I haven't wrapped round, you can wrap it right the way round and that will give you much more of a curly look. And there you go. So you can see I'm giving a much more relaxed look. So at the moment, this looks very princessy, but don't worry because as soon as I brush it out, it's gonna look a lot more relaxed. We're gonna get the brush and you'll see that once I brush this out, it's gonna create a much more natural look. So let's start at the bottom, mid-lengths, and then the top. You can see just by brushing it all through, it makes the wave drop a little bit more. It gives a much more bouncy look to the hair. I'm gonna do the other side and then I'm gonna show you my makeup look for the day. I've finished my hair and now I'm gonna do a super quick makeup look because where I've been talking you through stuff, I'm running late. So I'm like, When I'm in a rush like I am today, I will use a full coverage foundation because you can pretty much use the foundation like a concealer and foundation in one. So little goes a long way. Because it's full coverage, I don't have to put on as much. I'll put a little bit around my eyes. I'm going to do this side of my face so you can see the difference. But around my nose, on my chin, forehead. That's it. That's all I will do with this full coverage foundation. If you're someone that has rosacea or has pigmentation, just has an uneven skin tone, you'll see just how quickly this full coverage foundation makes a difference without looking like you've got loads of makeup on. It's as quick and easy as that. I'm not using fancy brushes. Any areas that you feel you might need a little bit more coverage, such as under the eye or any redness on your complexion due to rosacea or hyperpigmentation, you just layer up. And look, I think that makes my skin, I think it makes the skin look really natural, but it's just slightly more perfected. So I'm going to quickly do the other side, and then I'm going to show you what I do for my brows and the rest of my face. Now, my top tip for applying foundation is when you want more coverage, tap. When you want less coverage, feather. It's just very slightly giving me a more perfected look. Oh my goodness, my brows, I've got to quickly get a brow thing, wait there. I'm using this tiny little pencil here. It has a spoolie on one end, and I will brush up my brow. So when you brush up your brow, you're going to brush up all along the brow, but then when you get to the arch, you're going to take the tip of the spoolie and just comb it down. So I'm going to wind this up so you can see it's a very fine tip. Well, love this one, I use it every day. This is the secret because it's going to create the look of tiny little hairs. And when you want your brows to look natural, this is what you use. So I'm going to use my pinky finger as a stabilizer, and I'm just going to draw in little brow hairs that perhaps are missing, or I want my brow to look fuller and thicker. And I'm going into the actual brow shape, and then when I want to create a bit more definition, I will simply add a bit more thickness to the base of my brow here, just before the arch, because that's where I think a lot of us get a bit of thinness. And then I'm going to see where my brow should start. So I'm going to hold the pencil here and like, oh, I've over plucked at some point, probably in the 90s. Add in some there. Then I'm going to comb through. I'll put the link to this brow pencil because it goes with not this colour, but there's lots of colours on Beauty in the Boutique that are perfect for your colour. So very, very natural. Now some people skip their brows, and I remember probably about 15 years ago, I never used to do my brows. I used to do them on photo shoots when I was doing models and celebrities, but never for myself. And then all of a sudden I was like, why don't I do brows on myself? And it made such a difference. You know, I'm in my late 40s now, and I think it helps give my face a bit more structure. It gives my eyes a little bit more of a lift. Again, not perfect, please excuse me. I haven't got a mirror, I'm doing it on my phone, and I'm genuinely in a rush. The next thing I like to do is I will go in with a really lovely bronzer. And I'm going to go in with a matte bronzer because I don't want any sheen on my face right now. I just want to create a sculpted look. Go in with this bronzer, tap off into the lid here. It's better to go in a little bit and then build up. I'm going to start from the bronzer and I'm going to go downwards, so it means most of the intensity is here, and then it gets lighter here, and that's going to create more of a sculpted look to the cheekbone. Very subtle, a little bit of fuzzing around the hairline just to create a nice halo effect to the face, because when the kind of areas of lightness around here, 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 and here, it creates a much more sculpted look to the face. Around the jawline, this part, that just makes a more defined jawline. Blend out a little bit on my nose, and I will take my brush, squeeze my brush, and apply it into my eyelid. This is a really quick, easy way of doing a nice bit of eye contouring. Very subtle sculpting there. Let's do the other side. Again, once you get the hang of this, you can do it so quickly in the morning. We're getting there. I've got to be quick because I've actually got a meeting. I'm panicking. Right, now what I like to do is take what's left on my bronzing brush, and I love to dip it into this blush. This looks scary, but on the skin it looks amazing. Dab in, and I love wearing bronzer and blush together because I think it gives a really lovely, pretty look to the complexion. It gives a subtle lift, and I like dusting on this just along the top of the cheek there, which I think just draws the face upwards. Can you see? Lipstick and liner. I obsessed with wearing lip liner. I just can't live without about it. I think it just makes everyone's lips look better. So this lip liner, I've chosen to go with this lipstick. The two work beautifully together. Stabilizer, move your face, not your hand. You see, I'm keeping this still, but moving my face against the pencil. Then fill, smudge together, lipstick on top. And by applying liner under the lipstick, it's going to keep the colour on longer. Plus, I think the two look really nice together. Last touch, this mascara, smudge free, but gives a really beautiful lash look. And what I do is I bounce the wand on the root of the lash, and you can do this with your mascara at home. It's a really quick and easy way of applying your mascara. Bounce on the root and then lift up. With this mascara, you can apply a few layers and get a really intense look, but because I'm in a rush, I'm going to do a few little bounces on the roots and then lift up for a natural look. Bottom lashes, again, bounce on the roots, then take down to the mid-length. This is the final thing that I would like to do with my mascara, is I hold the wand vertically and I just coat all the lengths, and it gives you a really pretty doe-eyed look with your mascara. This mascara is smudge free. Okay, so we've got beachy hair, we've got natural look makeup. What am I gonna wear? I found this dress in a charity shop. So let's see if I can style it. So I'm hoping you can see the makeup in better light now. Right, let me show you the dress.
I think this dress was probably from the 1980s. I've added a belt to it to give it a little bit more structure and to make it look a bit more expensive. I'm going to put on these little heels, very comfy, and I love a little ankle strap because I think that just looks cute. I think the nude colour just helps tone in with my skin, just adds a cute little look to this vintage dress. I've got a meeting and I don't want to look totally business-like, but I do want to look a little bit more put together. So let's grab this. Is a blazer. Found this one on eBay, and I love finding clothes on eBay, on Etsy, in charity shops. The colour of this picks up nicely with the shoes. I'm hoping these creases will fill out. Excuse me, I didn't get time to give it a little eye before I go to work, which is most unprofessional. Let's have a look. Let's see if I can show you the full look. I think a great tip is whenever you put an outfit on and you're like, oh, I need it to look a little bit more chic, whenever you add a blazer to something, it always gives it that slightly more dressed up look. And I think now this dress that I got from a charity shop for £5 looks a little bit more meeting ready. And I think the shoes dress it up a little bit more. Well, I hope everything I've shared in this Get Ready With Me has helped. I'm sweating. Let me know, do you like this sort of video? Do you want me to make more Get Ready With Me? Essentially, I want to help you with tips and tricks, so if you found anything useful, let me know. And this is the carnage that we leave behind us as we go to work. I am taking the dogs to work with me, so they won't be left behind. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Bye.